Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to do a little addition to cost of living in the Philippines from the first video that I actually did explaining my how I managed to get by, how I moved to the Philippines, and the finances I had. This one's just going to be about two different categories of living in the Philippines. I'm going to call the first one bare bones because it is basically minimal living in the Philippines if your income, if your savings is at this level. I'm talking about a retirement account or a monthly income of only 500 US dollars a month, which right now at 50 pesos per dollar equals about 25,000 pesos, so figure between 20 and 25,000 pesos. How are you going to be able to live in the Philippines? Number one, make sure that $500 comes in every month, because if you miss a month, you're in trouble, because it generally means there isn't much left over. Number one, you won't be buying a house, you won't be buying any property, because you're just not in that category financially to be able to purchase a house, to be able to purchase some land to build a house. So how are you going to live here in the Philippines? You're going to rent. You can rent a house depending on you, whether you're by yourself or you and your girlfriend here in the Philippines. Renting a house could run you anywhere from 5 to 10,000 pesos a month. And with only 25,000, wow, you are pretty limited on your choice of rentals. You can buy much smaller rentals. You can get a much smaller rental in the 3 to 5,000 peso per month category, and this is exactly where you're going to have to fall in if your income is so limited. It generally means 1 to 2 rooms in a small rental. You'll have a small kitchen, maybe just a portable cooking unit, a small refrigerator, and a small comfort room. That'll be about it. You almost have to figure a month, especially if there's two of you, at 8 to 10,000 pesos a month to eat. If you want to have a reasonably good diet, you're going to be spending that kind of money, and only if you can cook much of it yourself. If you're going to eat out, boy oh boy, I'll tell you what, generally it's not all that cheap to eat out here, and especially if you eat at any of the name brand restaurants. Boy, 8 to 10,000 is not going to last you a month. Your utilities for a small apartment will run anywhere from 2 to 3,000 pesos depending on air conditioning, and you're probably not going to be able to afford that. So a fan is the next big offering in order to just kind of move the air around. Like I said, this is bare bones living in the Philippines. You better have a savings. If that savings is less than 16 to 17,000 dollars US, which equals about 90 to 100,000 pesos, stay home in the US or Australia or Europe or wherever you're from, because that savings is going to be something for you to be able to fall back on in case of an emergency or any extra expenses that come up. And I'll tell you what, they do come up. Okay? No matter how much you plan, you need a little bit of a nest egg. And like I said, I talk about 15, 16, 17,000 US as the absolute minimum to be able to move here and live here. Oh boy, like I said, it is definitely bare bones. There are people living in Cebu and Manila that operate on this kind of an income. They can do much better here. Operating on that kind of an income in the U.S. or Australia is impossible. You are so far below poverty to try to even exist. At least here, you're able to exist and actually be able to not thrive completely, but if you're smart, you can definitely get by and lead a fairly decent lifestyle. Where I draw the line is where I came in, what I did. I had a minimum of 1,000 US dollars a month coming in on my Social Security. My savings was 36,000 US dollars, which comes out to I gotta figure it out again, but 1.8 million pesos. So if you're in this category, a minimum of 1,000, a minimum of 30 to 40,000 in a savings account. Now you can buy land, you can buy a house, and you can build a house. Okay, be very careful. Like I said, you can go through 1,000,000 pesos building a house very, very quickly. But at least here in the Philippines, you'll have something of your own, so much less expensive than you can do in the US or Australia. I mean, I could never live the life I'm living here. I could never live that life in America where I was. I was basically going into the hole, boy, a month at a time. So if you fall into that category, like I said, I actually call this pretty well a minimum. I got that bare bones category because you can get by on that. I call this a minimum for a decent retirement living and to be able to get ahead, to be able to have your own home, your own piece of property. You better fall into this category. Moving up from here, it's all uphill from here. Boy, if you've got a nest egg and your Social Security or your retirement is 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 US dollars a month, I'm going, boy, in my wildest dreams, I can't imagine that, because that's so far above what I get and what I'm able to take in. You could live pretty much any lifestyle that you wanted to live here. And there are many expats living here in that category that are making a pension, they're making Social Security, and they've got a fat nest egg. You know, like I said, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100,000 US dollars in the savings or more. Boy, the world is at your fingertips here. You know, you can pretty well buy and choose and build whatever you want. Your life here can be probably so much better than it could be in Australia, the States, just because of what you can do with that amount of money here. You can definitely, this can be your paradise. So I'm going to kind of wind down here. I wanted to just give a little bit more information on these more or less two basic categories, bare bones and minimum category. Uphill from there, the last one that I talked about, like I said, you should have no problems at all unless you have problems holding on to money and you spend it like water. Then no matter where you are, you're going to be in trouble. Okay? I've never had that problem. I wish I did sometimes, but no, I actually, in truth, I've lived all my life like this. I enjoy the struggle. I enjoy the month-to-month living because it's made me wise, more than smart. It's made me appreciate everything I have and everything I buy. I appreciate. It's like this piece of land we live on. It's a gift. It's a gift from God. And as a caretaker, my wife and I do the best we can to take care of it the best we possibly can and to improve its quality, its production, and everything that we do. That's our return for the gift that He gave us. What more can I say? In the sense of those last words, I say thank you for listening. There'll be more to come on finances and that in the near future, and especially the do's and don'ts. I'm kind of writing up the do's and don'ts right now, and that'll be an interesting one. Thank you much. Thank you much for viewing. Like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you, and God bless all of you.